Many of us, when we reach a certain age, can count on a hand or two how many quote-unquote serious relationships we've had in our lives. And therapists would talk us through them and out the other end and encourage us to move forward and teach us methods and tactics and strategies for self-improvement and so forth. But this is just one woman's take on how to survive a bad relationship. It's true that anyone within whose company we spend lots of hours, days, weeks, months, even years, is going to imprint upon us. We're going to learn. And you know, we learn best indirectly, Suzuki says. Shinichi Suzuki, one of the planet's foremost music educators and philosophers, understood that indirect learning is what sticks. What we absorb by osmosis, what we absorb like we learn language using environmental exposure. I think it's true in personal relationships as well, and I'm no psychologist. Other people imprint upon us to the degree that we are intensely focused on the other person and we invest energy into time spent with that person. We are going to absorb aspects, outlooks, traits, habits, language, behavior. This is just going to be my list of examples. Day-to-day life, just the practical things. Cooking, cleaning. What has changed in my life as the result of my most recent bad relationship? Here are the positives. I just finished eating some fresh pineapple, sliced, chunked, in a saucepan with butter and cinnamon, fried. If you've ever tried it, you know. We need pineapple. We need the bromelain. Pineapple is so good for the body. Now, frying the pineapple in butter and cinnamon is not something that I would have done on my own. I learned this from my bad relationship and the gourmet cook in whose company I spent so much time. I also tend to do things now that would make my mother so proud. I clean up after myself. After I'm finished cooking, I rinse everything out and I clean up. I clean up the surfaces. I don't leave the powder and the flour and the juices and the gunk sitting out for the mice. I clean up because I cleaned up for him. He was the gourmet cook and I cleaned up after him. Even when he would bring food here and we'd cook together, I would be the one who would clean up. And now it's a habit. Now I do it without even thinking. Is that a plus? Of course that's a plus. And it's an awfully long time coming in this girl's life. I tend to do laundry more frequently. I tend to want to sort and gather. And, oh, the floors, I sweep the floors. That's one of the first things I started to do in my own home, even when I was in the midst of what I used to call the relationship. Now I sweep my own floors with a broom. There are no dog hairs or cat hairs in this house to clean up, but I've certainly spent enough minutes and hours out of my day doing that elsewhere in the bad relationship. Is that a good thing? Yeah, that's a good thing. You can probably stop and spend a minute or two and think about your habits and how they've changed for the better as a result of knowing somebody who in your own life maybe didn't really pan out. But we always get something. We always learn something. What we learn is not what we deliberately attempt to absorb. We learn indirectly. We learn by being in the company of, in the environment of, somebody else. We are imprinted by that person's attitudes and behaviors, some of which are worth taking on, because no one person is totally rejectable. In our worst moments, we're not inclined to believe that, but I think it's still true. So take a minute or two and observe yourself throughout the course of your day when you're in solitude. What are you doing that you do now because of that other person that you knew for so many years, or months, or even weeks? The more individuals we spend time with in close proximity, the more our personality develops more facets. We can credit the other person for that too. Here's hoping you can. Thanks for stopping by. Go do something and think about where it came from. Why are you doing it? And from whom did you learn?